Fear is like a shadow. It looks larger than it is until you dare to face it. Long ago, in a small village surrounded by golden fields and flowing rivers, there lived a humble potter named Haridas. He was known for shaping the finest clay pots, sturdy enough to hold water for years, and beautiful enough to decorate the homes of nobles. Haridas had 2 children, his elder daughter Mira and his younger son Raghav. Mira was quiet, thoughtful, and often afraid of speaking to strangers. She helped her father in the workshop, but she rarely looked up when customers came. People in the village whispered that she was timid and fragile, a girl who would never achieve anything beyond hiding behind her father's workbench. Raghav, on the other hand, was bold and talkative. He made friends easily, laughed loudly, and carried himself with confidence. Villagers often compared the siblings, praising the younger and mocking the elder. Haridas loved both his children, yet he worried about Mira. "Child," he often said, "pots may break, but confidence must never break. Without courage, life will crush you like wet clay." But no matter how often he encouraged her, Mira could not shed her hesitation. She feared making mistakes, feared being laughed at, and feared disappointing her father. One day, fate tested her in the harshest way. It was the time of the annual village fair, when traders, travelers, and nobles from distant towns gathered to buy goods. For a potter, this was the most important occasion of the year. Haridas prepared for weeks, crafting rows of shining pots painted with colors of the earth and sky. The night before the fair, he loaded his bullock cart with the pots, ready to set out at dawn. But, as fate would have it, he fell ill with a severe fever. His hands trembled, his head burned, and he could barely stand. "Father," Raghav said confidently, "don't worry, I will take the cart to the fair." But Haridas shook his head. "No, Raghav, you are too young to bargain with merchants. They will trick you easily. Only Mira has learned the craft well enough to speak of its value." The words struck Mira like thunder. She froze, her heart pounding. "Me, father? I cannot. Everyone will laugh at me. I don't know how to speak to strangers. I will fail you." Haridas looked at her with weary eyes. "Daughter, I have no strength left. If we miss the fair, our family will have nothing to eat this winter. You must try. Even if you are afraid, courage is nothing but stepping forward despite the fear." Mira's lips trembled, but she could not refuse her father's plea. At dawn, with her hands shaking, she took the reins of the bullock cart and began the journey to the fair. The road to the fair was long and crowded. Merchants shouted, travelers bargained, and music filled the air. Mira's heart raced with every step closer. When she finally reached the fair, she set up her stall, arranging the pots just as her father had taught her. But when the first customer approached, she froze. "How much for this pot, girl?" a stern trader asked. Her throat dried. Words refused to leave her mouth. The trader smirked, muttered, "Foolish child," and walked away. Tears filled her eyes. One by one, people came, looked, and left, because she was too afraid to speak. By noon, her stall was still full, while others around her were nearly empty. Her heart sank. She thought of her father's weak body lying at home, her brother's hopeful eyes, and the villagers waiting to mock her failure. In that moment, despair clouded her mind. She whispered to herself, "Perhaps they are right. I am weak. I cannot do this." Just then, an old monk passed by her stall. He observed her pots, then her face. With a gentle smile, he asked, "Child, why do your hands tremble? Your work is beautiful, yet your spirit hides." Mira burst into tears. "Master, I am afraid of people, of speaking, of failing. My father trusted me, but I cannot even sell one pot. What use am I?" The monk placed a hand on her shoulder and said, "Listen carefully. Fear is like an unbaked pot. It seems fragile, but when placed in the fire of effort, it hardens into strength. Do you know why people doubt you? Because you doubt yourself. Speak once with courage, and the world will listen." The monk's words lit a spark inside her. She wiped her tears, took a deep breath, and stood tall. The next customer approached, a woman looking for water jars. Mira's voice trembled, but she forced herself to speak. "These pots are made from the purest clay of the riverbank. They will keep your water cool even in the hottest summer." The woman smiled. "How much?" Mira named a fair price, her voice firmer this time. The woman agreed and bought 2 jars. Mira felt a rush of warmth in her heart. For the first time she had spoken with courage, and it worked. With each new customer, her fear lessened. By evening she had sold more than half her stock. Villagers and merchants alike praised the quality of her work and the honesty of her words. When the last pot was sold, she packed the empty cart with pride and hurried home. Her father lay on his bed, pale but awake. When she entered, his eyes widened. "Child, the cart. It is empty. Did they trick you?" Mira smiled, her eyes shining with tears. "No, father. I sold every pot. At first I was afraid, but then I remembered your words. I stepped forward despite the fear." Haridas wept and held her hand. "Mira, today you have proved stronger than I ever imagined. Confidence is not given to us. It is built, and you, my daughter, have built it with courage." From that day, Mira was no longer known as the timid girl of the potter's house. She became respected across the village as a skilled craftswoman, wise in her trade and bold in her speech. Her story spread, inspiring other young women who were told they were too shy or too weak. Years later, when Haridas passed away, it was Mira who carried forward the family legacy. She trained her brother, taught other villagers, and even helped the poor by gifting pots to those who could not afford them. But more than her craft, people admired her confidence, which had blossomed from the ashes of fear. And whenever someone asked her how she overcame her weakness, she would smile and reply, "Fear never leaves us." But courage means walking alongside fear and still moving forward. The world sees us the way we choose to see ourselves. Confidence is not a gift we are born with. It is a skill we build step by step. Fear and self-doubt may follow us like shadows, but when we dare to act despite them, we discover a strength we never knew we had. Just like Mira, each of us has the power to turn trembling silence into a voice that inspires.